Algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we're going to do factor by grouping, day 2. Now remember, factoring by grouping is just GCF, GCF, and GCF one more time. Tell you what, let's do a problem that's not specifically factor by grouping first. We're only going to do 2 of those. But let's do one that's got a GCF involved in it. And let me see, let me get my highlighters out. Highlighters. I got an x plus 6 as a factor. I got an x plus 6 as a factor. I've got 2x minus 8 as a factor. I've got an 8 minus 6x as a factor. All right, so let's factor out my x plus 6 as a quantity. Always as a quantity, right, Sam? Yes, you bet your boots. All right, so I get x plus 6. Now, Mr. Cooper can tell you that I'm going to take out an x plus 6 here. And I will bet you that Miss Green, yes, I said Miss Green, not Miss Yellow, not Miss Brown, Miss Green, could say, well, Mr. Lawrence, there's going to be a quantity of 2x minus 8 left. Although she wouldn't sound quite like a man when she said it. But she would say it. I know she would. I have faith in her. All right, and so this x plus 6 and this x plus 6 will cancel. There will be a negative, and what will be left here will be an 8 minus a 6x. There we go. All right, so I have an x plus 6 out front here. Now I have a 2x minus 8. And here I know that Jake could tell me I'm going to distribute a negative 1. Distributing a negative 1. And I will get a negative 8 plus a 6x. Now many of you, it's getting frustrating, many of you show these arrows, but then you don't do it. You have to multiply negative 1 by 8 and by negative 6x. All right, and let me see, who should I talk to now? Kristen. Kristen knows that I should combine like terms inside that second quantity. She also knows that I have, let me see here, let's get some different colors. Let's get some orange. She says I got a 2x here and a positive 6x there. And let me see, Kevin's going to say, well, I have a negative 8 and another negative 8. And so when I combine those like terms, I'm going to get an 8x minus 16. But Julia is going to say, Mr. Lawrence, there is a GCF hiding in the second quantity. We need to factor it out. And she's going to sing it just like that, except only sound better because I couldn't carry a tune if it had handles on it. Ha! All right, so when I factor out that 8, it's going to end up out front. And then I'll have an x plus 6 as a quantity. And then what's left in here? Well, 8x divided by 8 is x, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. And there you go. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so that one had 2 GCFs in it. You had a GCF in the beginning, and then there was a GCF hiding later. I suspect you should have been able to pull out that GCF earlier on, but sometimes we don't recognize it. All right, so let's get on with this one. Number 2, this is a factoring by grouping problem. Remember that when you factor by grouping, it doesn't matter which 2 terms you group together. What does matter is that the terms you put together have to have a GCF other than 1. So I am drawn to the 10y and the 10y. Ooh, that's a little strange. Did I make a mistake there? I wonder if I did. I'll tell you what, I'm purposely not going to put those 2 together. I wonder if I have a mistake in the problem. I already erased my original problem. So I'll tell you what, I'll just go ahead and group these 2 together. I'm going to group these 2 together. And if I have a mistake, I apologize and I'll erase it. All right, so my GCF here, I think it's going to be a 2y. So I'm going to divide by a 2y, and I'm going to divide by a 2y. I'm going to have a 2y out front, and then I'm going to have a 3x plus a 5. Yeah, there is a mistake in this problem. Yeah, there's a mistake in this problem. All right, I've got to erase it. Let me see here. And give me a second. I'll tell you what, talk amongst yourselves for a minute. The fall of the Roman Empire was caused by an overindulgence of gluttony. Discuss amongst yourselves. Go ahead. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody. Do, 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 do. Making up a new problem. Do, 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 do. Sorry to waste your time. Okay, I guess you could have fast forwarded it, but you wouldn't have known where to stop. All right, we're going to try this one. 12xy minus 8y plus 15x minus 10. Yeah, that's going to work out a little bit better. Okay, so remember that when I go to group, I have to make sure there's a common factor. I like the 12xy and the 8y, so I'm going to group those two together. And I like the 15x and the 10 together, so I'm going to group those. But remember, I grab that sign. Very important to grab that sign and put a plus in between the quantities so I don't change it into a multiplication problem. All right, so now I'm going to GCF in here, and I think the GCF is going to be a 4y. I think so, 4y. And so I pull that 4y out front, and I'll be left with a 3x minus 2. Now Dan's going to tell us how to do this next one. Dan's going to say, well, Mr. Lawrence, I'm going to divide by 5. 5 is going to be my GCF. And so I'm going to have a 5 times the quantity of 3x and a negative 2. And then let me see, who haven't I talked to today? Angela is going to say, Mr. Laurence, I see a 4y as a factor. I see a 5 as a factor. But I also see a 3x minus 2. And at 3x minus 2, I see another GCF. So this next GCF, I will divide by the quantity of 3x minus 2 and divide by the quantity of 3x minus 2. And when I do that, the quantity of 3x minus 2 is there. And then I will have a 4y left and a positive 5. There we go. We just factored using grouping. Remember, we GCF'd once. Here was the first GCF, right? Then the second GCF was right here, and then this was the third GCF. For factoring by grouping, we just GCF 3 times. That's all we do. All right, this one here, I want you to pause the video and try number 3 on your own. Oh dear, where'd it go? There it is. All right, pause it on your own. And do it on your own, sorry. Okay, here comes my solution. I'm going to rewrite the problem as 24pwxy, and I'm going to subtract 12wp, and then I'm going to have a minus 16xy and a positive 8. All right, and I'm going to group it this way. These two terms, grabbing the sign, must grab the sign. Please grab the sign. All right, now my GCF of this first quantity, I think it's going to be 12wp, right? PW, WP, same thing. So I'm going to have 12wp, and over here I'm going to have a 12wp, and 12s will cancel, turn that into 2, WP will cancel. And so I'm going to have a 12wp out front, and what's left here will be a 2xy. Now, so many of you are getting this wrong. It's driving me crazy. X divided by x does not equal x. X divided by x is 1. So 12wp divided by 12wp is 1. It's not wp. It's 1. W divided by W is 1. P divided by P is 1. 12 divided by 12 is 1. Those ones are all being multiplied. It's 1, assuming W and P aren't 0. So I'm going to have a minus 1 there. All right, now over here, the GCF is going to be 8. In fact, I'm going to pull out a negative 8. I like to have my lead coefficient be positive. Aaron and Mackenzie learned that Tuesday in class. So I'm going to pull out a negative 8. Very important. And I will get a 2xy and minus 1. Now, I don't know if you realize this. If I had only pulled out a positive 8, I would have gotten a negative 2xy plus 1, which doesn't exactly match. And that's part of the reason I pull out a negative. Okay? I like to have my lead coefficient be positive when possible. Now, using my highlighters, I notice there's a 2xy minus 1 and a 2xy minus 1 and a 12wp and a -8. So I can pull out a 2xy minus 1 as a quantity. 2xy minus 1 and a 2xy minus 1. So I'll have a 2xy minus 1 out front, and then I'll have a 12wp minus 8. Uh-oh, look at that. There's another GCF hiding in there. You see it? There's a GCF hiding in here. Yeah, there's a 4. So I'm going to divide by 4 and divide by 4. So I'll have a 4 out front. I'll have the 2xy minus 1 and a 3wp minus 2. And there you go. Now it's completely factored. So in this case, we actually had 4 GCFs to do. But GCFing is so simple. It's so simple. Don't make it hard. All right, that's the video for today. We're going to get some practice in class tomorrow. Mr. Laurence signing off.